I know what you want. Oh, sure, they may have tried to separate us, but what we have is too strong. It's too powerful. I mean, after all, we shared everything, you and I. I told you my deepest, darkest secrets. I showed you exactly what people are capable of. I shocked you with my honesty, but mostly I challenged you and made you think. And you trusted me, even though you knew you shouldn't. So we're not done, no matter what anyone says. And besides, I know what you want. You want me back. Of course, some believed everything and have just been waiting with bated breath to hear me confess it all. They're just dying to have me declare that everything said is true and that I got what I deserved. Wouldn't that be easy if it was all so simple? Only you and I both know it's never that simple, not in politics and not in life. But you wouldn't believe the worst without evidence, would you? You wouldn't rush to judgments without facts, would you? Did you? No, not you. You're smarter than that. Anyway, all this presumption made for such an unsatisfying ending, and to think it could have been such a memorable send-off. I mean, if you and I have learned nothing else these past years, it's that in life and art, nothing should be off the table. We weren't afraid, not of what we said, and not of what we did, and we're still not afraid. Because I can promise you this. If I didn't pay the price for the things we both know I did do, I'm certainly not going to pay the price for the things I didn't do. Oh, of course, they're going to say I'm being disrespectful, not playing by the rules, like I ever played by anyone's rules before. I never did, and you loved it. Anyhow, despite all the poppycock, the animosity, the headlines, the impeachment without a trial, despite everything, despite even my own death, I feel surprisingly good. And my confidence grows each day that soon enough you will know the full truth. Well, wait a minute. Now that I think of it, you never actually saw me die, did you? Conclusions can be so deceiving. Miss me?
What you gon' do now? Hope you're ready, cause I'm really about to put it down. Girl, you know that I will never disrespect you. We love tomorrow, but tonight I wanna spank you. That ass count, gotta make it last down. Start off slow, then I'ma beat it up. Hate on me if I know. Try to say stop when the beat say go. There you go again, that voice is watch you make your girlfriend go. Come on, come on, come on. You've been waiting patiently, wondering when and where I be. After causing ruckus in the industry, making this so she can't sleep.
What up? Happy Labor Day. Some people caught the intro, some people didn't. The question is, what is Dana up to now? Before I even go there, I want to say shout out to the Dream Team. Shout out to the people that's here on YouTube, Facebook, We Got Ups, Getter, and everywhere else. Shout out to those people. But I gotta say it, and I'm gonna say it here. YouTube is the demon that nobody wanna face. What up, Tony? So I'm gonna say this. I got so overwhelmed Friday, seeing what was going on. I was gonna shut it down and completely walk away from all the scamming, to all the BS, to trying to make Rob look bad, to selling transcripts of Robert to come up off his pain, to having a person locked up at the jailhouse or at the court where Robert court is going on at, trial is going on at. I reserve my comments all the way around the board. I reserve my comments all the way around the board. I heard some people talking trash. Heard some people going at people. Hell, I heard a lot that said I was trying to get the Go Along, Get Along gang locked up. So I was done. So Saturday I wasn't online. Yesterday I wasn't online. But if anybody paid attention to my community posts, I kept posting things. I thought about when I first came back to this fight. And I said, I'm 10 toes deep for Robert. And it kept ringing. The more Team Truth attacked, the harder I went. And the same people that say crucify me now are the same ones that love me. Oh, Dana, we got your back. We would never turn our back on you. Same ones. But when I didn't agree with what they were doing, I became the enemy. So I sat back and I said, I'm the one that know the most. For a year and a half, I've been slandered, betrayed, bombarded. And I kept fighting and kept fighting. And then, my good was evil spoken of. I get it. And then for a newbie to come in. And I'm just giving y'all a backstory of where my mind was at. For me to put in all this work. And having people meet this person, having people meet that person. Just to be stabbed in the back. And then, when I look up, I see they making moves. I see a person who called me their little brother join up with the Go Along, Get Along gang and scam with everybody else. So I had to do a self-check. And in the last 2 days, I was doing self-checks. I was on the phone with some people. I had some arguments. Some things I tolerated before that I shouldn't have never tolerated stops now. So I sat back and I said, if this is going to be the end, I'm going to ride off in the sunset like Tonto. But then I looked at a live. Because somebody sent me the link. And when I looked at the live, they said, just like Debo got locked up, DanaJay is next. So I got down. I said, Lord, why they want me locked up? What did I do that they want me locked up so bad? So I said, nah, I'm not dealing with them no more. I'm done. I'm over with. Then I watched AEW last night. And I looked at Adam Cole. How he was lied on. How he was ostracized. How they even cost him his job. And when he came back to AEW, when he left WWE, his whole thing was, it's Adam Cole time, baby. So I went to sleep early. And that was ringing in my mind. I thought you was 10 toes deep. I can hear Rob saying, are you serious, nigga? I thought you was 10 toes deep. It's DanaJay time, baby. So I woke up refreshed. And I said, I need to tell these people something. What can I tell these folks? Because I don't want to do this no more. My anger is too bad. I want to fight. Forget all this. I want to fight. I don't want to do this no more. Nobody understand. Loyalty is a thing of the past now. Because nobody's loyal. I woke up at 7:30 this morning. I did something I never did before. I woke up and I started cleaning my house. And I put on Marvin Sapp. The song that Rob wrote for Marvin Sapp. And then I kept hearing jail. So I read a scripture. And the scripture said, he prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thy anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Not jail, but surely goodness and mercy. I said, okay. And they say, he who the sun sets free is free indeed. No more chains abided me. I start smiling. I start getting that strength back. And today I was going to say, you know what? I got people that's against me all over the world. Even people who claim they got robbed back. So today was my day that I was going to say I'm officially done. I won't be coming back no more. But if I didn't get caught for the things that I did or we did together, what makes you think I'm going to bow out now for the things I didn't do? I said it to say this. I ain't going nowhere. It's DanaJay time, baby. I'm back. And the problem is this. If y'all want to set me up in New York, I'll be there next week. Let's do it. I plays this game. I'm for it. At the end of the day, On the internet, y'all can beat me all day. I don't want that smoke. In person, well, let's just see what you're about. So, while I'm at that point, now y'all know DanaJay ain't going nowhere. Let's address it. All these PPP loans and everybody, check it. I don't have nothing to do with nobody's PPP loan. And then y'all let Denise Brewer stir all of y'all up. Think about it. When she left when she got kicked out of Oak Cove, she was looking for a home. She talked to Angelo, and Angelo gave her a home. So now, I listen to the lies now. Now I suppose to be trying to get the go along, get along gang locked up. For what? You don't know my pedigree if that's what you think. You don't know my pedigree. So whatever all of y'all got going on, and before I go there, just remember this. It was the fake, or should I say this? I'm sorry, because I'm about to put it all together for y'all. It was the oops incidental email that was sent to Bedbug for him to go off on her and for her to take down our page and then disappear until she had a talk with Angelo. And now all of a sudden, here come the reemergence of Miss Denise Brewer. And now all of a sudden, everybody friends again. Who y'all think y'all fooling? Who do y'all think y'all fooling? I've been here before. I see y'all devices. As my bishop preached, the spirit of Ichabod is there. So yes, let's talk about it. Some people made a whole page, Tim White. Now I know who you really are. And it's funny. That's all you gotta do is pay attention to the little kinks. And as I pay attention, I said, he, her, me, no, yes, okay. So let's go here. Yes, I did think the ending of a trial was called the sentencing. I did think that. I was wrong for that. Because it's not called the sentencing. It's called the verdict. And I think somebody came in and said that, and I kind of fussed them out. One thing I do, I stand firm to what I believe in. So I believe that it was the sentencing. That's when you get the verdict, right? Hey. So it's called the verdict, not the sentencing. So that's my mistake. But you, and I'm going to call you Tim White, you took that whole 20-second clip from my live and made it seem like I'm totally against Robert. But I watched your moves. Your moves were confirmed to me yesterday exactly who you are. So Tim White, understand this. I know who you are. And when the time comes, it's going to all come out. So guess what? What you do in the dark, it's going to come in the light. Make it make sense. You made a video off that little 20-second clip. Gave it to somebody in New York. Then gave it to Bedbug. And then everybody else was exposed to it. You can't drop clues around me and think I'm not going to pick it up. So Tim White, understand this. Because of the position that you are in, think it's time the world understands that I'm not a game. I'm not nothing to play with. And since y'all want to play, I'ma play. Just not the way y'all think I should play. Y'all know I don't play by nobody's rules. And y'all know if anybody's doing anything to hurt Robert, or that could have the potential to hurt him, I'm going to say something about it. So I'm going to say this. And I'm going to stand on this right here. Shouldn't nobody be getting disrespected in the name of Robert? I said it. Anybody don't like it? I ain't hard to find. I'm the tallest one in the bunch. But I get it. I get it all. Just give it some time. Just give it some time. And I came to put that out there just for a reason. I will say this. A lot of things that y'all have been doing, or should I say we, because I participated in a lot. The only difference is I'm man enough to say what I did to who I did it to. And I've done that. I've expressed that. That's why they have respect for me. But don't put me in nothing nobody else done. If you don't see them on my page, I'm not talking to them. And I go for any of that beefing, that Team Truth Oko beef, I don't got shit to do with that. That's none of my business. That's something between two factions that split. I understand some people done went and jumped in that fight. That's between them. But I will say this. Don't include me in your mess. Same thing goes for YTF and Enterprise. That's a beef between two factions. My problem is with one person out of that situation. And that's you, Kevin. So you can say what you say to other people, that's y'all beef. But you got a bigger problem. A real big problem. And it's gonna get ugly. Real ugly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to utilize all my pages, and I'm going to create 2 more pages. I'm going to create a sports page and a wrestling page. I see something going on, and I'm about to jump in that fire. So, with that being said, for all of y'all that thought that Dana was done, think again. Think again. And this time it's worse. And let's address this rumor. Nobody dictate what I do over here. I don't care who you are. Feelings have been removed. I've watched people that I once really cared about stab me in my back and cut my head off to try to get to the top. And the worst thing is, I've heard somebody say, if I can't get in the courtroom, nobody will. That's sad. Well, here's my rebuttal to that. If you ain't do what you did, to get put out the courtroom. You wouldn't have that issue about going back into the courtroom. Make that make sense. So, the drama, don't bring it over here. You will be blocked indefinitely. And the crazy part is, the people that start drama don't show up to events. The people that start drama just hate the fact that you can be cool with places where they come from. Let's get into some commentary. Something that they don't have. You see the second part? Jeff Epstein versus Robert Kelly. I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'm sorry. Before I go there, I'm going to show something. The CDC has put these guidelines out via Dr. Jamie Coffin. And it's a COVID-19 post-exposure at home management. If you have been exposed to COVID-19, be sure to isolate away from others. Wash your hands frequently and clean frequently touch objects to help slow the spread. Now, bulletin point 2 says some vitamins, minerals, supplements can help the immune system fend itself from the virus. Bulletin point number 3. Speak to your primary care provider before starting any medications or supplements. Seek medical care as necessary. Bulletin point number 4. Recommendations for adults under 18. Please speak to your doctor. Number 1. Pepsi 20 milligrams 1 or 2 times a day daily. Connected with improved outcomes. 2. Mucinex 600 milligrams twice daily. Thins respiratory secretions. 3. Zinc 25 to 50 milligrams twice daily. For 5 days. Use early in infection period. 4. Hold on. Let me remove this. 4. Quercetin 250 to 500 milligrams twice daily for 5 days. Help the body use zinc. Tummy time to help improve outcomes and avoid intubation in patients. Lay on your stomach for 30 to 120 minutes, 2 to 3 times per day. Legs can be slightly elevated for comfort. 6. Deep breathing and walking. 7. ASA 81 milligrams. If approved by PCP for DVT in combination with walking. 8. Vitamin B complex. Improved post-COVID syndrome. 9. Omega-3 supplement. Improved post-COVID syndrome. 10. Eat potassium-rich foods, bananas, oranges, tomatoes, avocados, potatoes. And this comes from the Macon County Health Department. But I got one problem with all of that. They tell you to do all that, right? Then they say it's related to COVID. Now go back and look at flu symptoms and what to do if you catch the flu. I kept saying it once, and I'll say it again. What up, Adams? I kept saying it once, and I will say it again. This COVID stuff is nothing but an authentic scare of a hyperactive flu. That's all it is. A hyperactive flu. COVID-19 cannot kill you. It's a germ. It attaches and hypersenses whatever ailments you have in your body. So if you got pneumonia, it's going to attach itself to that and make it 10 times stronger, and that's what kills you. But if you label it COVID-19, them doctors get that check. Now let's get into what I really want to get into. And I've been telling y'all for the longest. Nobody else have this. But I got it. So I'm going to ask you a question. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you see this picture right here? What comes to your mind when you see this picture right here? I want to know. What comes to your mind when you see this picture right here? Now, I have Old Cove in here. I have Dream Team in here. I have other friends in here. Hit that like button too. Like, share, subscribe. Okay, Atmos said Predator. Miss Virgo say Monster. Hit that like button, y'all. Happy Labor Day to everybody. Ann Huff say Evil. EJ said Privilege at its finest. Willie say Predator. Love Yourself say Evil and Alive. I like that. I like that. EJ said not to mention Sicko. Okay. Now, y'all see the title. Jeff Epstein versus Robert Kelly. Y'all see it, right? Okay. So, let's put that to the side. Because I want to know. I want to know. What comes to your mind when you see this? Miss Ebony said yes, Evil. Might said high level AIC operative. Oh my God, you hit it on the button today. Let's get these likes up. Don't forget, if you want to subscribe to the channel, hit the super chat at the bottom. If you want to donate to me and my trip to New York, you can hit the tip draw at the top of the chat box, or you can cash at me. And I'm going to look at both sides. Okay. When you look at this picture right here of Robert Cesar Kelly, somebody said, Miss Albertine said, Evil ASF, Monster, Predator, Privilege. Robert Privilege? Ann Huff say Slander. Latonya say King. When I see that picture, I think of a disturbed person. Tyree. Look at my comment on Facebook. Facts. Facts. The more they try to get me off Facebook, the more I'm going to stay. And YouTube. Atmos said Predator, Snake, Manipulative, Sneaky. Okay. Willie Jones, big up, brother, here watching the Truth Hour. That's true. They trying to put fake charges on Dana now, too. Laugh out loud. These feds wildin'. Facts. Political prisoner. Okay. The innocent man, that's the king. Free to go. A free man. Okay, that's what y'all think. So I got a mixed crowd. No problem. That's what I like to have. So what I'm going to do is, where did that picture go? Okay. I'm about to say, where did that picture go? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to read 13 pages from both. Let's see which one is which. I'm going to read, starting first, the R. Kelly Memorandum of Law and Opposition. I ain't going to read the preliminary statement. Guess I'm due. And preliminary statement, Mr. Kelly respectfully submits this memorandum in opposition to the government's motion in limine to admit at trial evidence of certain acts by Mr. Kelly. This evidence of certain acts offered in the government's motion are unequally inadmissible under the federal rules of evidence because of the government's request is untimely, not relevant, and if permitted will cause severe prejudice to Mr. Kelly, of which such prejudice outweighs the probative value. Therefore, if the court does not deny the government's motion, Mr. Kelly's constitutional rights will be violated, as well as his rights to a fair trial. Okay, I read this. Everybody understand it. I'm going to just go through it slowly again. I ain't going to read everything, but because I want to get to the juicy stuff. Okay? So everybody know, Mr. Kelly is on trial right now. This page 3. This page 4. That's talking about the questionnaire. This page 5, the argument. Slow it up for y'all. Page 6. If the evidence is relevant, the district court must determine if it's potential for unfair prejudice. Okay. So pretty much we know, but I want to make it fair. Talking about the John Does. Let's go here. The Jane Doe and the government other acts, motions are no less. Talking about it. Okay, Jane Doe number 1, a minor. The government seeks to introduce evidence regarding Mr. Kelly's alleged sexual abuse of Jane Doe number 1 to prove his motive for engaging in racketeering Act 1 robbery. Blah, 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 blah. Y'all got all that. That's page 9. Page 10, they talking about Jane Doe 1. I'm just giving it to y'all because we read this already. Jane Doe 11 talking about page 11 talking about Jane Doe 7 through 20. And 1 and 2. Page 13 is 12 is the conclusion. Okay, we know about that already. Bam. So we know about that already. So we know about R. Kelly is on a sex trial. Well, it's labeled a sex trial. I label it a penis trial because he's on trial for his penis. We know about the alleged people who claim to be hurt. And when they went to court, all their stories have been lies, holes been poked into. But hey, it's for the jurors to decide. We see something else. Everybody that's opposed to Robert sees something else. This and this and this and this and this. Okay? So we know about all of that. 30 plus years of supposed to be hurt and abused, which I totally deny constantly. So we know about all of that. All that. What else? Hey, Miss April. And we know about all of that. Right? But what we don't know is what nobody on the internet have. And I need y'all to get them likes up. I got 97 people watching. I need them likes up. Because I'm about to unleash the documents that nobody else have on the internet. Ronald said Rob's pick looked like they trying to charge him, but he's not guilty. Let's get them likes up, y'all. There's 96 people in here, which it should be more. But I understand nobody want the truth. Everybody want the chaos and the drama. But nobody want to hear the truth. Now, I'm going to read all 13 pages of this man's new stuff that just got unsealed this morning at 6:05 a.m. Nobody else have it. Just like I bought y'all to Ghislaine Maxwell, I'm going to bring y'all to Jeff Epstien. So, let's get it, man. Look, 55 and 15 dislikes. Oh yeah, for the people who dislike me, man, I understand y'all dislike me, but I know y'all insides.
And here we go.
It's setting you up like that because y'all feel like this on the inside. I'm gonna be honest with you. I couldn't even finish reading this man's stuff. This is some of the most craziest stuff that I ever seen. I need some more likes. I got 58 likes and 16 dislikes and 90 and 100 people. That don't even add up. So the people that's over there watching, but I didn't hit nothing, just hit the like button or the dislike button. Either way, I got your view. And I want to thank you for stopping past the only channel, or no, I'm sorry, one of the real channels who's going to bring you real news and not nothing fake, okay? We ain't for the drama, we for the direct truth. So that's where we at. All they've been talking about is this man's sex life. Like, WTF. Does any of that has what the Frank does any of that have to do with that Rico? Nothing. And I will be finishing Maxwell's case. The problem is they sealed the whole case. So I can only give y'all what I have. I'm going to go to Troll's accounts and give you 2 more. If it's at me now, don't do that. I mean, look, I'm waiting for them to hit that like button. You got people just watching. Why? I mean, why watch? Participate. Hit the like or the dislike. Either way, I got your view, and I thank you for it. So, while y'all sitting there trying to decide which one y'all want to do, I'm going to give y'all a little update from my boy Kales real quick. I just want y'all to hear what Kales had to say.
On the ground, and then I woke up as a whale in the middle of a pond. And the minute I opened my mouth and started to sing, oh, that changed everything. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't know just how I got here, just how I made it, just how I made it, just how I made it here. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. But coming up in the hood, I saw so many things. But those so many things brought me all of my dreams. And now here I am today.
Here he is today. I just need to hit that like button. And while you at it, you can hit the like, share, subscribe. Everybody on Facebook, I want to thank y'all for joining me. But some people saying they don't believe I got it because nobody else got it. So I'm going to do it one more time. Also, don't forget, you can donate to my Cash App, official DanaJay, $ official DanaJay, if you want to aid in my trip to New York next week. But we about to go there. This man, the epitome of evil. No church wanted to talk about it. No political leader wanted to talk about it. Just like Don Russell, nobody wanted to talk about it except for me. So now, I guess you're going to say I'm picking on Jeff Epstien. Well, let's go there. Y'all thought I didn't have it. Y'all thought it was just a bluff. Y'all thought I was bluffing. Y'all thought I wasn't playing. Y'all thought I was playing. When I told you I'm back on my bullsh, that's what I mean. So now, for the people that thought I was joking, you can go ahead and hit them likes. Because it's there. It's there. It's there. The last week of trial is next week, I believe. It's there. Let's look at it. Charlene Y. Latham, plaintiff. David G. Latham, plaintiff number 2. Tracy Y. Latham, plaintiff number 3. John Doe 1 through 10. Jane Doe 1 through 5. Versus, you can't call him Jeff Epstein no more. You got to call him the 1953 Trust. Remember when I told y'all they're not after Robert, they're after his trust? Once you are gone from your name, they going after the trust that it was established in, which is your social security number, which is your birth certificate, corporal number. Why do you think they calling it the 1953 Trust? When was Jeff Epstein born? 1953. So if Jeff Epstein is dead, why is his trust still on trial? And you're going to see some names on here that's going to hurt yourself. Then you're going to understand why they had to continue to carry this out for Robert. Watch this. Versus the 1953 Trust, defendant. Number 2, Harvey Weinstein, defendant. Sean Carter, defendant. Darren Endike, defendant. Richard Kahn, defendant. The Weinstein Corporation, defendant. Miramax LLC, aka Miramax Films, defendant. The Walt Disney Company, defendant. Def Jam Recordings, defendant. Pay attention to number 9, number 10, and number 11. Watch how I flip. Universal Music Group, defendant. Rock Nation LLC, defendant. Beyonce G. Knowles, defendant. Kanye O. West, defendant. Terrence Thornton, defendant. Black Cube Ltd, defendant. Vivendi S.A., defendant. Dwayne Carter, defendant. June Luke Brunel, defendant. Young Money Entertainment, defendant. Good Music, defendant. Shelley Massenberg Smith, defendant. Let's stop right there for a second. What does Walt Disney? Nope. That's going to be too complicated. What does Rock Nation, Universal Music Group, Def Jam have in common with Beyonce, Kanye, Dwayne Carter, and Sean Carter? What up, Keith? What do they have in common? And I'm looking at the chat from another screen. What do they all have in common? Now, this was going to hurt you. If you can't get this, you ain't going to understand the next set of names I'm going to read. This is what a lot of people didn't know. Robert was actually going to buy Universal Music Group. Willie, you hit it on the head. At one point, Robert was thinking about buying Universal Music Group, right? But I have a question. When you look at the first 1 through 21 names, every last one of them have one person involved, one music group involved. Do anybody know who that music group is? And Willie, you can't say it because you just said it. All of these people, 1 through 21, have one music group involved. And for y'all that don't know, it's Sony. Sony have a trust and a stake into that Jeff Epstein island. Now that we know that, let's make this make sense. Let's read 21 through 38. You have Shelley Massenberg Smith, defendant. David Boyce, defendant. Robert Kelly, defendant. Milton Brown, defendant. Marcelo Clare, defendant. Sprint Corporation, defendant. Viacom CBS, defendant. Virgil Abloh, defendant. Qatar Investment Authority, defendant. Tudor Salabi Corporation, defendant. Ghislaine Maxwell, defendant. Parkwood Entertainment, defendant. The City of New York City Police, defendant. Sir Philip Green, defendant. Sony Entertainment, defendant. John Doe's 1 through 100, defendant. Jane Doe's 1 through 100, defendant. Corporation Doe's 1 through 100, defendants. Stop. Why would R. Kelly name be on this document? And I kept telling y'all months ago, for them to bring him to New York, there's a hidden document somewhere. There's a hit that, Keith, I know, there's a hidden document somewhere that have Robert name on it. People told me I was lying. Well, here's the Jeff Epstein document right here. Why would Robert Kelly and Milton Brown be on here? And then you drop down. Wait a minute. Let's go here. Robert Kelly is 23. Right? Sony is 35. That's 12 spots, right? Milton Brown is 24. Sony is 35. That's 11 spots, right? 12 plus 11 is what? 25, right? Okay. 25, right? So if 12, whoa, wait a minute. What I'm talking about? I'm getting a bit. I'm getting ahead of myself. Robert Kelly is 12 spots ahead of Sony. Okay. Milton Brown is 11 spots. Okay. So 12 and 11 is 23. I'm sorry. Okay, cool. I gotta retract that. I got excited. 12 and 11 is 23, right? So if 12 and 11 is 23, and we never seen Robert or Milton Brown around Jeff Epstein or on an island, neither have we ever heard of him being on that island. So, with that being said, 23 means the year what? Do anybody know? '23 is the year of prosperity. Again, because it repeats after 7. Also, if you look at 23, that's the Masonic chapter, and there's only 10 more steps before you become the top of the food chain for the Masonics, for the Masons. Right? Okay. So, you got 23. That's there, right? How many John Does do you have in 36? 1 through 100. 37 Jane, and 37 you have 1 through 100 Jane Does. And 38 you have corporation Does, 1 through 100. That's 300, right? Okay. So, it's 33 chambers. And before you become a Master Mason. Right? I don't know if I should be talking about this. Because, I mean, I got to go deep into some gang stuff. So, I don't know if I should be talking about this. So I'm going to leave the gang stuff out. I'm going to leave the gang stuff out, but I'm going to just tackle this. Okay, I'm going to leave the Mason stuff out. So, 23 plus 300 is 26. Right? Okay. So, when you look at Robert Kelly, how many letters is in Robert? You see 5. Right? How many letters is in Kelly? You see 5. How many people you know have a complete 10 in their name? 10 means perfect. So how many people do you know have a complete 10 in their name? Nobody. It's 3 degrees, but it's 33 chambers, Ronell. Or 33 levels. Because you got the blue house, the red house, and all that. But you got to go 33. And I used to make fun of them and say 33 and a third. So, nobody have a perfect 10 in their name except for Robert Kelly. A perfect 10. Robert, R-O-B-E-R-T. Wait a minute. R-O-B-E-R. I'm sorry. Robert don't got a perfect 10. Robert got a perfect 11. Okay. So now I got to bring it this way. 11 is Robert's name. 11. And if you add the D and defendant, but that makes 12. So you got 12 spots from Robert and the D, and then you got 12 spots and before you get to Sony in the chart. I got to bring it down that way. Right. But I had to look at it. So I got to bring it down that way. Come on, Dana. You can do it. You got it. All right. So it's 12 across. Robert plus the D is 12 across and 12 down. Right? So you got Sony. If Sony ain't had nothing to do with what's going on in New York right now, why is his name appearing in Jeff Epstein's paperwork? This is a question that nobody stopped to ask. And on top of that, why would you have Milton Brown and not Daryl McDavid? Why would you even have Daryl McDavid and not have Aaliyah's uncle, Barry Hankinson? Since Barry was the one that did the bidding with Sony. So all around, and when people say the setup of R. Kelly, I told y'all this is deeper than these females. They have them in New York now. How ironic they have him and Ghislaine Maxwell 4 floors from each other in the same federal prison. Now, do this make sense? Once again, I'm going to ask y'all this. Let's go back to the top. If Jeff Epstein is dead, why are they charging the 1953 trust? Which means, if you come down to 23, they charging the trust of who? Robert Kelly and the Southern District of New York. But watch this. Why wouldn't none of this come up? Why was it sealed? Why was it sealed? Let's see if anybody gonna answer. The call-in number is the same. We can have a call-in response. Let's talk about it. If Jeff Epstein is dead, why are they charging his trust? Jeff Epstein, the name is dead, but when the person is dead, no longer breathing, that means the trust dies too. They might shut down my YouTube page for exposing the truth. So they are not after your names. They're after your trust. Now watch this. How can you be after a trust how can you be after a person and a corporation? Maybe because your name is not holding no weight because you didn't reclaim your birthright. So they after your trust that your name is connected to, which is your social security number and your QSIP number on your birth certificate. That's the only way that you can go after a person and a corporation in the same document. A corporation have QSIP numbers. It also have a EIN. You have a social security number and a QSIP number, which means I get a 2-for-1 deal off of you. Just off the company, I get the EIN. Also, do you not see what else is going on? These companies and names are some of the most powerful people that changes the world and feelings for people. Ghislaine Maxwell was the only woman I know who can travel from country to country without an ID. She ain't have to show nothing. She just showed her face and walked through. But what triggers me is when you have Sony at 35, R. Kelly at 23, Milton Brown at 24. Then you have 100 John Does, 100 Jane Does, and 100 corporation Does. Stop. Jane Does and John Does are people. What the ham sandwich is a corporation dough? And you got 100 of those. This is evil at its finest. So let's go. Plaintiff statement of the case. Plaintiff number 1 enters this statement as formal statement of the case against all defendants as captioned in page 1 of this statement. 2. The Doe defendants, including corporations and their executive or involvement personnel. Stop. The Doe defendants, and we know they men, including corporations of their executive or involvement personnel, which means that they are considered a corporation. And since they are the corporation, because the Bible says you are the lender, not the borrower, so that means that you are the head corporation. Why? Because they gave you a social security number That means since you are the head of that corporation, which is yourself, and that social security number that they gave you and that QSEP number on your birth certificate, you are involved. And you clearly say, and they're executive. They ain't say executive person. The executive, which means the person. The executive person. When I go to court, I show my executive to my trust. And that's all this is about. They coming to collect. Or involved personnel are fully included in this action. The Doe defendants represent employees. Listen, the Doe defendants represent, what are you? An employee, a partner, a collaborator, a vendor, third parties, heirs, and related entities whose identities and specific criminal roles have been intentionally concealed or withheld by the defendants. Let's stop right there for a second. Ask yourself this question. Since a corporation cannot do anything criminal, because a corporation is just what it is, a corporation. It's just a housing. Thank you, Ms. Rivers. But that's all it is, just a housing. So, in order for them to identify that you are doing criminal roles, they got to identify first that you are what? A person. And if you didn't reclaim in your birthright, that means you are a person, but you are dead at sea. Go look at reclaiming your birthright. And then from that point, when they give you your social security number and you take it, you becomes a corporation. That's how they can get you in court, because corporation only do business with corporation. Just like I prove something to y'all time and time again. When I go into their kangaroo courts and I don't put my paperwork on register, that means what? I give them the guideline to treat me however, as a corporation it is. But if I put my paperwork in, they got to treat me as a natural living person. So they can't conduct business with me in court as they would do anybody else who haven't claimed their birthright. Because now I let them know that I'm not dead at sea no more. That I'm a human being. Alright. To prevent their being brought to justice by being named in this and other civil complaints, while intentionally being made unavailable to the plaintiffs of this action to avoid redress. Let's go back to that point. It says, the Doe defendants represent employees, partners, collaborators, vendors, third parties, heirs, and related entities whose identities and specific criminal roles have been intentionally concealed or withheld by the defendants to prevent their being brought to justice by being named in this and other civil complaints, while intentionally being made unavailable to the plaintiffs of this action to avoid redress. 3. Corporate defendants. Stop. Listen. Corporate defendants named or identified as Does. Stop. They laying it out for you. A corporate defendant, right, could be a friend of mine that haven't reclaimed his birthright, that rocks with me heavy, which is Milton Brown to Robert. But a corporate defendant named or identified as Does are accused of aiding and abetting and the facilitation of the unlawful surveillance, spying, stalking, and repeated drugging, abducting, hostage taking, and kidnapping for the criminal intent of sexual assault, abuse, extortion, and exploitation in the same capacity as any person named as defendant, and in their capacity as corporations. Here we go. In their capacity, which means they ain't do what they had to do to reclaim their birthright, so they're acting in the capacity as a corporation. I'm breaking it down for you. Providing support to the criminal enterprise. Here, all of a sudden, here's the enterprise again. Providing support to the criminal enterprise of the defendants 1 through 3 as corporate couriers, facilitators, conspirators, and including by providing money laundering services to route payments to the parties of this large-scale criminal enterprise of criminal activity targeting the plaintiffs. Now I'm at 4. Some, though defendants' identities are not revealed at the time of filing this statement to protect or preserve any criminal investigations occurring that may be jeopardized or undermined, and the plaintiffs reveal certain, though defendants' identities at this stage of their proceedings. What are they telling you? If they would have put this out before, this would have jeopardized Ann Donnelly's case. I told y'all that Robert Kelly was named in something that had nothing to do with him. And as you're reading it, because Sony was a big contributor, hey, what's up, Truth? Because Sony was a big contributor to Jeff Epstein, guess who got hit? Robert. Why? Because he's the #1 seller on Sony. Number 5. Over the course of decades, the defendants established a lucrative but sociopathic criminal enterprise where the defendants engage in decades of human trafficking, sexual assaults, and various abuses, including financial and economic exploitation, drugging for abduction, taking plaintiffs #1 and plaintiffs John and Jane Doe #1 through 10 hostage at all. I'm glad I read that. Where have y'all seen that at? Where have y'all seen that at? In R. Kelly's motion, right? I told y'all it's something deeper in play. It's something deeper in play. It's something deeper in play. Let's go to 6. The defendants engage in this criminal the defendants engage in this criminal and sociopathic conduct as a form of specific criminal intentions designed as sexual harassment, extortion, physical torture, psychological torment, and revenge targeting plaintiff #3 for her refusal to sell her child, plaintiff #1, or children, John Doe and Jane Doe plaintiffs, to the defendants 1 through 3. So let's see who the defendants 1 through 3 is again. Jeff Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, and who? Sean Carter. Ain't that Jigga Man? Ain't that Jigga Man? Ain't that Jigga Man? Jigga what? Jigga who? Ain't that Jigga Man? So, I wonder what was the lawsuit between Robert Kelly and Jay-Z really about for that amount of money? Could it be because Sean Carter, along with Sony, threw this man into this type of bull crap and he ain't know? And then when he found out, he sued the hell out of Jay-Z. But because his name is already in play, it got to stay into a play out. And the reason why they didn't say Barry Hankerson, because Jay-Z really ain't want to say nothing about Barry. Why? Because it would have messed up his relationship with Dame Dash further, and Dame Dash would have exposed everything about Jay-Z because it would have brought Aaliyah into this. Now we understand why Aaliyah has been brought into play. Now we understand why this has been brought into play. And everybody kept saying, well, I mean, why New York? New York is the holding ground. And they needed something to hold him. And see, they didn't want to put this out too soon. Even though they mildly released it under Ghislaine Maxwell, but nobody paid attention to that. Because everybody was focused on the smoke screen. And the smoke screen was, let's get Robert Kelly out there and have them participate on this. So while everybody looking at Robert, they kindly unsealed Jeff Epstein. Let's go here. Why haven't it been no burial? Why haven't it been no type of insurance claim put out on him? Why is his bank accounts actively being used? His Swiss accounts. And if anybody know about Swiss accounts, nobody else can touch them accounts except for you. So let me ask this question. Could it have been that Jay-Z was told, I don't care about you and Robert making albums, but you going on tour together. That means y'all being seen together. Get away from him. We got something in play. And that's why I believe the best of both worlds went down the way it did. Because Jay-Z took what the high-ups told him and ran with it. Let's keep it a buck. No nigga from the hood get this powerful. He sold drugs in Maryland. Born and raised in Marcy Projects, grew up in Marcy and in Maryland. Maryland Eastern Shore to be exact. And to be directly exact, he grew up in Suitland. He grew up in Suitland. So now we understand why I keep saying don't kill Robert in jail. Because this is way bigger than some Lifetime. I understand a lot of y'all hate me because y'all didn't get the information that y'all wanted, but this is bigger than Lifetime. We talking bigger than the mafia. We talking, and as y'all read, we talking England. The people who hold the lives of most of the people over here in their hands. So this ain't about Lifetime no more. Lifetime was just a tool. Use. Them parents were just tools used. Let's talk about the real people at play. Jeff Epstein's name has been changed. And I read that to y'all about 4 months ago. Ghislaine Maxwell trial went from a semi-open trial to now the whole trial is sequestered. And I'm not talking about just the jurors. I'm talking about everybody, judge and everybody. Who gives that authority to have a sequestered trial? I've never even heard about that before. But who gives that type of power to claim a sequestered trial? That means anything can happen in there, and we will never know. Six, the defendants engage in this criminal and sociopathic conduct as a form of specific criminal intentions designed as sexual harassment, extortion, physical torture, psychological torment, and revenge, targeting plaintiff number 3 for her refusal to sell her child, plaintiff number 1, or children, John Doe and Jane Doe plaintiffs, to the defendants 1 through 3, which is Harvey Weinstein, Jeff Epstein, and Jay-Z. When plaintiff number 3 refused to sell or allow the defendants in any capacity to sexually abuse or financially exploit plaintiff number 1 or any of her other children and grandchildren represented as John Doe and Jane Doe plaintiffs 1 through 10 at any time, the defendants begin targeting the family for economic abuses and financial exploitation that not only consisted of drugging the children or plaintiffs 2 and 3 for sex trafficking, hostage taking, and related abuse, but also began exploiting the plaintiffs for thefts of trade secrets, intellectual property, and torturous interference in the plaintiff's career and economic opportunities. Wow. This extensive scheme of the defendants was initiated by Jeffrey Epstien. Dang. The descendant represented throughout this action by his estate, the 1953 trust, as revenge against plaintiff number 3. Stop! Wait a minute. Wait. The descendant represented throughout this action by his estate. Wait a minute. If you're dead, how? If you're dead, you're not a his or her, a Jane or a Doe, or John Doe. Wow. They leaving clues. So the descendant represented throughout this action by his estate, the 1953 trust. So who's operating the trust then? And who's operating the estate? Plain and simple. Moving right along. Whew. As revenge against plaintiff number 3. Now, number 9. Plaintiff number 3 agreed to out-of-court multi-million-dollar monetary settlement in the late 1980s, early 1990s to avoid a public criminal and civil prosecution for Epstein's sexual abuse of several of the plaintiffs' 2 and 3's children. Plaintiffs 2 and 3 share 6 children together, 3 sons, 3 daughters, and approximately 14 grandchildren. Wait a minute. Could the plaintiff be Michael Jackson? Wait a... Okay. I'm going to reserve my opinion. I don't know why that just came to my head, but okay. Number 10. After misappropriating Leslie Wexner's money to pay the settlement, Jeffrey Epstein devised a scheme of revenge and recovery of the money by targeting the plaintiffs for drugging and trafficking the children for continued abuse at his various orgies around the world, where he was paid large sums by elite attendees of the salacious events and then used the money from abusing the plaintiffs to repay his debt to Waxner. Let's stop for a second. Could one of these events be the spirit dwelling event? The spirit dwelling event is when they drink the kids' chronozone and they eat kids in front of you. Carla Lord said R. Kelly's case is a sting operation that will expose human trafficking in the sports and music industry. Grab your popcorn and continue watching the trial. Happy Labor Day to all. Happy Labor Day too, Carla. Now, number 11. The decades of abuse and sexual assaults were equally to the benefit, entertainment, and economic enrichment of the corporations, as well as facilitated in whatever capacities by the corporations, their managers and personnel, as by any person named as defendant. Told you. All because Robert was part of Sony, he's been put in this because he's one of the highest paid singers ever. I just read it. Let's read 11 again. The decades of abuse and sexual assaults were equally to the benefit, entertainment, and economic enrichment of the corporations, as well as facilitated in whatever capacities by the corporations, their managers, and personnel, as by any person named as defendant. There you go, right there. 12. This action is in the U.S. Southern District Court of New York because it is where the defendants' conspiracies to attack and exploit for criminal sexual intent targeting plaintiff number 1 occurred when she was a minor child belonging to and in the custody of plaintiffs 2 and 3. 13. Over the course of 30 years, here we go. Over the course of 30 years, since at least 1988 or 89, the defendants did conspire to unlawfully surveil, drug, and abduct for sexual assault, sex trafficking, and other exploitative abuse plaintiff number 1 around the world, specifically throughout the Southern District of New York. And because Robert was in this case, I told y'all, plain and simple, the reason why they brought that Mann Act is because it was something else in play. Here's the something else. Now, watch this. This action is entered into the Southern District of into the U.S. Southern District Court of New York, as it is one jurisdiction in which the defendants abducted plaintiff number 1 to at approximately age 13 to sexually assault and exploit sexually for financial gain. 15. Whee! The defendants, Harvey Weinstein, Sean Carter, and Jeff Epstein, represented in this action as defendant number 1, the 1953 trust, conspired together and with the other defendants to illegally transact a purchase agreement giving them ownership of plaintiff number 1. Who is plaintiff number 1? While she was a minor child residing in the state of Illinois, I'm done. While she was a minor child residing in the state of Illinois, at approximately age 5 or 6 years old, in custody of her parents, plaintiff 2 and 3, with the intent of committing criminal sexual acts against the plaintiff as a child and throughout the course of her entire adult life. Let's go to 16. The defendants 1, 2, and 3 at no time communicated with nor received permission from plaintiffs 2 and 3, the biological and custodial parents of plaintiff number 1, to purchase plaintiff number 1 or otherwise take possession of her at any time as a minor child. I'm wondering, Jay-Z, did you go tell them people that Robert had anything to do with this? Now it's starting to come to play. 17. Over the course of at least 30 years and longer, the defendants conspired to surveil or stalk plaintiff 1 and 3 in order to track the female plaintiffs with the intent to commit various sex acts at all against them. 18. The defendants 1, 2, and 3, Harvey Weinstein, Jeff Epstein, and Jay-Z, aka Sean Carter, conspired with the various parties and corporations named as defendants to stalk the plaintiffs in order to drug, abduct, and traffic the plaintiff number 1 to various events known as sex parties, hosted by the now descendant Jeff Epstein, represented as defendant number 1, around the world for abuse by elite, high-profile, wealthy purveyors held at all of defendant number 1 properties, including in the United States and Virgin Islands, with the intention of committing crimes against the plaintiffs. Let's go to 19. At age 13, specifically, the plaintiff number 1 was stalked in the state of Missouri, drugged and trafficked to be sexually abused at an event at 9 East 71st Street, Manhattan, New York, 10021 by the conspiring defendants. 20. At this piece of property owned by defendant number 1, plaintiff number 1 was sexually assaulted by various parties in attendance, specifically Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter. I'm going to pause right there. I got to get something to drink. Man, oh man, oh man, this rabbit hole is deep. Woo! Ah! This rabbit hole is deep. Ah! Let's continue. 21. Let me see what y'all saying. Hold on. Oh my God. Oh my God. Jay-Z been alone. Never allow people are so mad. What's there to be mad about? This live. Hit the like button, yo. Oh my God. Let's go. 21. The defendants number 2 and 3 willfully and forcibly raped plaintiff number 1. What? And committed lewd and sexual acts against and upon her without consent of any plaintiffs at this event held at the Manhattan property. 22. The plaintiffs were repeatedly stalked, placed under unlawful surveillance, drugged, abducted, and trafficked for sexual assault, abuse, and exploitation at regular interval over the course of the more than 20 years after the attack at the Manhattan townhouse owned by defendant number 1. Jeffrey Epstein, represented as defendant number 1, conspired with Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter to initiate a system of stalking, surveillance, drugging, abducting, and trying to physical control, abuse, or financially exploit and extort the plaintiff number 1. That's why I get it now. That's why they saying Robert is doing that, because he was once friends with Jay-Z. I get it. And they saying birds of a feather flock together. I get it now. Okay. 24. This conspiracy was in revenge retaliation for settling a multi-million-dollar lawsuit out of court with plaintiff number 3's mother for Epstien crime of sexually abusing plaintiff number 1 and several of her siblings aboard the Lolita Express private jet with the currently deregistered tail number of N908JE and on Pedophile Island, the privately owned Little St. James Island, in the late 1980s to early 1990s after being entrusted with the unsupervised care of the children. Jesus. The defendant's conspiracy to operate the criminal enterprise targeting the plaintiff spanned the entire nation of the United States, anywhere the plaintiffs traveled or resided. 26. The defendant's system of stalking, drugging, and trafficking involved a complex, sophisticated criminal network established among and in tandem with all of the defendants to traffic plaintiff number 1 for their abuse, exploitation, entertainment, and criminal intentions of racketeering, extortion, and sex crimes. Who is plaintiff number 1? What makes her so popular? This complex network of the criminal enterprise targeting the plaintiff involved the defendants compensating the co-conspirator defendants for their crimes of stalking, drugging, abducting, and assaulting the plaintiff number 1 at the behest of defendants 1 through 3. Through use of various business transactions, including but not limited to offering and or facilitating employment contracts, lucrative partnership contracts such as record deals, fashion industry ventures, and other assorted goods and services, such as company perks like luxury cars, housing, real estate gifts, and large sums of cash disguised as record advances, and other legitimate business deals for decades. Oh my God. This is getting worse by the minute. The defendants engage in international torturous interference, kidnapping and holding the offspring of, watch this. And remember what I told y'all about not claiming your kids as kids. Because if your kid is a kid, that means your kid belongs to the government. If your kid is a child, it belongs to the government. If you are classifying yourself as a parent, aka parent, you belong to the government. Look at what the government called this people. Check it. The defendants engage in international torturous interference, kidnapping and holding the offspring of plaintiff number 3. So plaintiff number 3 must have reclaimed their birthright, because now they're not called kids. They're called offspring, as I was telling you. Specifically plaintiff number 1. So if plaintiff number 1 is a kid, why didn't they say kid instead of offspring? I keep telling y'all, when you in your books and you know your stuff, can't nobody take that from you. Can't nobody take that from you. And the one thing I have is knowledge. That's why you can't say, oh, Dana kids. I don't have kids. I have offspring. Specifically, plaintiff number 1, hostage by routinely hiring defendants to stalk and illegally surveil the plaintiffs and interact with the plaintiff number 1 under the disguise of befriending her or having romantic or business interests in any of the plaintiffs so that they could use the false relationship to facilitate exploitation, hostage taking, and abuse targeting the aforementioned plaintiffs. Wow. 29. This deception to commit torturous interference was done regularly to allow the defendants ease of accessing the plaintiff's private life and spaces when plaintiff number 3 began violently demanding the defendants 1 through 3, Jay-Z, Epstien, Harvey Weinstein. But when plaintiff number 3 began violently demanding the defendants 1 through 3, defendant 1 is represented by the deceased Jeff Epstein. Have anybody else caught that? Have anybody else caught that? Defendant 1 is represented of the deceased Jeffrey Epstein. If you did, how can you be represented by somebody? Because when you go to court, you got to represent yourself. And if it was a lawyer, it would have said lawyer. Make it make sense. Hey, can I get 10 more likes, y'all? I truly appreciate it if I could. Immediately cease and desist their extensive harassment, stalking, and kidnapping campaigns against her and her family. 30. This is serious. 30. Plaintiff number 3, plaintiff number 3 was made aware of the defendant's activities by numerous witnesses who refused to participate in the criminal operations after being solicited for hire to partake in the criminal operations and receive very lucrative compensation packages, including large sums of cash and high-profile entertainment contracts, such as high-visibility marketing and promotions opportunities. When I see this lets me know that other rappers and singers went to the government about Jay-Z. When informed of the conspiracy targeting her and her minor children, the plaintiff number 3 did take numerous and repeated action to demand the defendant cease and desist all illegal and abusive conduct. 32. The defendants 1 through 3, however, engaged in establishing a thorough network of criminal operatives to facilitate their enterprise of spying, stalking, unlawful surveillance, breaking and entering, torturous interference, numerous sexual assaults, sexual battery, financial exploitation, physical abuse, emotional harm, psychological torture, sexual harassment, lewd conduct, kidnapping, human trafficking, and extreme abuses for decades, specifically targeting plaintiffs 1 and 3. And their offspring, here we go again, and their offspring rather than cease and desist their criminal enterprise. Excuse me. So, with those charges, you looking at life upon life. You ain't never seen a light of day. This criminal enterprise orchestrated by the defendants escalated beyond the sexual assaults, abuse, harassment, and emotional harm to intense and extensive financial exploitation of the plaintiffs, 1 through 3, and their offspring, Jane and John Doe plaintiffs. The defendants repeated abduction and hostage taking of the children of plaintiffs 2 and 3 caused them emotional harm and caused financial damages in the course of regaining possession of the children. 35. Lucrative career contracts and in professional sports, entertainment, and other industries were forfeited in exchange for or consequence of redressing the crimes targeting plaintiffs 2 and 3. Shared 6 biological children, including but not limited to plaintiff number 1. When plaintiffs could not be used for sex trafficking exploitation, the defendants exploited the plaintiffs' economic prowess and unique abilities to pick stocks, predict business and market trends, create very lucrative trade secrets, create lucrative intellectual property, and develop very profitable business concepts and consumer products in a diverse array of of industries. Wow. The defendants orchestrated a criminal enterprise valued at billions of dollars by the trafficking and economic exploitation of the plaintiffs, for which the trade secret thefts and related business intellectual property crimes played a significant role in the profitability of the criminal enterprise, and such crimes are being addressed in separate actions in the appropriate jurisdictions. The defendants began stalking and surveilling the plaintiff number one as a child to misappropriate trade secrets, intellectual property, and other business and creative works of the plaintiffs over the course of at least 3 decades, with no intention of stopping, despite repeatedly being demanded to by the plaintiffs 1 and 3. This financial exploitation became very lucrative for the defendants, where hundreds of millions to billions of dollars have been collected, earned worldwide by the defendants through their decades of exploiting the plaintiffs' creative and intellectual abilities, while under the intense or constant surveillance of the defendants who use audio, visual, and conspiring to befriend, date the plaintiffs 1 and 3 strictly to collect the private information or trade secrets and intellectual property of the furtherance of this criminal enterprise, expanding beyond the described sex crimes. 40. The plaintiff number one is seeking civil redress and a separate complaint and jurisdiction for the extensive trade secret infringement, economic espionage, economic terrorism, and asserted extreme financial exploitation and abuses committed by the defendants against the plaintiffs. Wow. Plaintiffs have only mentioned the defendants' worldwide abuse and unlawful use of trade secret, intellectual property infringements, abuse of plaintiffs 1 and 3's likeness in the development and worldwide marketing of numerous high-profile singers, rappers, entertainers, and entertainment projects, including but not limited to musical albums, music videos, television shows, et al. What? Wait a minute. Plaintiffs have only mentioned the defendants' worldwide abuse and unlawful use of trade secret, intellectual property infringements, abuse of plaintiffs 1 and 3's likeness in the development and worldwide marketing of numerous high-profile singers, rappers, entertainers, and entertainment projects, including but not limited to musical albums, music videos, television shows, et al. Okay? And this action to provide scope of the abuse endured when the defendants were unable to drug, abduct, kidnap the plaintiff number one for repeated drug sexual assaults or hold hostage for ransom by the defendants and their criminal enterprise. This action caption and the header filed in the U.S. Southern District of New York is specifically redressing the decades of sex crimes targeting the plaintiffs and their offspring. Man, this is crazy. This is crazy. Power 123 Trust, what up, bro? This is crazy. This is crazy. When the plaintiffs were able to prevent the drugged abductions for sexual assaults against the plaintiff as a minor child and well into her adulthood, the defendants 1 through 3 responded by engaging in extreme forms of harassment that they conspired with the other defendants to initiate or facilitate. This looked like Jay-Z done threw Robert in some crazy stuff. This harassment includes, but is not limited to, sexual assaults, feticide, sexual harassment, verbal abuse, psychological torture, harassment such as gaslighting, and pain. What is gaslighting? and paying defendants to collect sexual data or other sexual exploit content featuring the plaintiffs 1 and 3 by engaging in sex acts that would be classified as sexual battery in various jurisdictions on hidden cameras. Do anybody know what gaslighting is? So Jay-Z done threw Robin in some crazy stuff. Wow. And so have Sony. Do anybody know what gaslighting is? The harassment includes creating pedophilia. The harassment includes creating pedophilia where the plaintiff number 1 and the other plaintiffs were recorded in various states of undress as minors in private spaces, and when drugged and trafficked aboard the private jet owned by defendant number 1, as well as other spaces for sexual assault where plaintiff number 1 and other doe plaintiffs were being presented as child prostitutes to the clients or of the defendants. Plaintiff number 1 submits this statement of the case to obtain justice to disrupt the defendant's ongoing actions to obstruct such justice while retaining and or generating profits collected from the abuse of the plaintiffs as outlined above and throughout the detailed formal complaint pending submission into the case record by deceiving all parties. I'm going to stop right there for a second. Are we going to see the same exploitation of Jay-Z and the heads of Sony as they did R. Kelly? Now that we get into the bottom of it. Now, this is a subject or a project that I would love for me and Senator Sane to do side by side, where we can break this down totally. Because this is, oh man, I'm going to go deep into this. If y'all would love to see me and Senator Sane work on this along with Prima Donna, if y'all would love to see me, Senator Sane, and Prima Donna work on this, just put hell yeah in the chat. Just put hell yeah in the chat if y'all want to see that. Because this is some deep stuff right here. I got 2 yes, 3 yes. Out of 108 people, we got 3 yes, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Defendants attempt at hiding all involvement in the defendant's sophisticated scheme of operating a criminal enterprise of human trafficking and trade secret theft has been ongoing for more than 30 years. And the ongoing criminal conduct indicates the defendant's spirited refusal to stop the conduct and their interest in continuing to enjoy the lavish profits from the criminal enterprise that they report to the public and government as legitimate income, business, operations, and or financial economic gains. 48. Plaintiff reserves the right to transfer the action or complaint to alternate jurisdictions as necessary in the interest of justice, and amend the action to include the full correct names and identities of any additional plaintiffs, including children, grandchildren, assorting relatives, assorted relatives, and associates of the plaintiffs. Hold on. Hold on a second, y'all. Thank you. Okay. Okay. It says additional plaintiffs, including children, grandchildren, assorted relatives, and associates of the plaintiffs. To add the defendants whose names, identities have been withheld or made unavailable at the time of this action and listed as though defendants at the time of filing the statement. Prayer for relief. Uh-oh. For these reasons, as outlined in paragraphs 1 through 8, the defendants are demanding pecuniary damages and the amount of $500 million and punitive or general damages in this action submitted in the United States District Court of the Southern District of New York. Plaintiffs demand court-ordered permanent cease and desist restraining orders be issued against all of the defendants to end any and all of the... Plaintiffs demand court-ordered permanent cease and desist restraining orders be issued against all of the defendants to end any and all of the defendants' decades-long and continuing criminal conduct as outlined in this action, where the defendants have made a sociopathic, decades-long scheme of human trafficking, criminal sexual assault, financial exploitation, psychological torture, harassment, sexual harassment into a criminal enterprise targeting the plaintiffs 1 and 2 by alleging the defendants 1 through 3 have created a purchase agreement for and are maintaining ownership of plaintiff number 1 and plaintiff 2 and 3's other offspring, some of whom are still minors. 51. Plaintiffs demand court-ordered permanent cease and desist with restraining order issued against the defendants be extended to include all members of the plaintiffs' families, including children, grandchildren, extended family, cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, etc., and the plaintiff business partners, clients, friends, and romantic partners, such as spouses and or unmarried lovers, anywhere in the world due to the defendants having shown a very specific interest and propensity for targeting with criminal intentions, including but not limited to of harassment, spying, stalking, torturous interference, financial exploitation, and criminal sexual intents, the people and business closely associated with the plaintiffs. 52. Plaintiffs demand any and all fair and equitable relief as available to award by the court to redress the damages and plaintiffs to redress the damages the plaintiffs sustained through the decades of trauma from the exploitation, sex crimes, child abuse, sexual assaults resulting in feticide, sexual harassment, financial abuse, economic damages, discrimination, child sex, human traffic for profit, numerous and repeated drug and sexual assaults, sexual battery, torturous interference, and relationships, both business and personal, unlawful surveillance, spying, gross invasion of privacy, cross-country stalking of a minor, cross-country stalking of adults, psychological torture, repeated kidnappings and abductions, hostage taking, and emotional harm at all outlined in this civil action. The plaintiff sustained these damages that were caused intentionally or consequently from the numerous crimes and unlawful acts willfully committed against them by the defendants and the defendants' reckless and wanton disregard for the law and perpetrating a lucrative criminal operation targeting the plaintiffs. Despite the plaintiffs' numerous and repeated demands for the defendants to cease and desist, their extreme and egregious criminal misconduct since at least 1988, the defendants' extreme conduct has continued in various forms. Throughout the year 2020, with little to no intention of the defendants' willingness to stop their criminal conduct without lawsuit or their arrest on criminal charges, to totally disrupt or disband the global criminal enterprise they've created over 3 decades. I declare under the penalty of perjury that above statements contained in this filing in the United States District Court in the Southern District of New York are true, and understand the penalty of any false statement signed in the County of Dallas, State of Texas, August 20th, 2020 at 3:10 p.m. Submitted respectfully, Charlene Y. Latham. Charlene, that's an email, that's a phone. Man, look, this is crazy. This is crazy. Let me see what this say. August 20th, 2020. Attention, United States District, New York Court, Pro Se Intake Unit, Room 200, 500 Pearl Street. Latham versus 1953 Trust, Harvey Weinstein, Sean Carter, and other defendants. Court action, plaintiff statement of the case. Dear court, please allow this correspondence to explain that I, Charlene Latham. Who is Charlene Latham? One of the plaintiffs submitted the enclosed document, plaintiff statement of the case, to initiate the action and obtain a case number. The pending formal complaint will be submitted separately. Additionally, I formally request permission to use the electronic case filing system. I have experience in using the ECF system for other jurisdictions and did begin completing the required training course to use the New York ECF system. I have technical experience and legal experience to be permitted use and consent to receiving all case communication electronically via the email provided below. It is requested that all communication be sent electronically as the USPS mail delivery system has been extremely disrupted and almost inoperable in use for me to receive mail, in traditional formats for the past 2.5 years. The USPS failure to deliver or process mail for more than 2 years is a separate but ongoing issue that would also make it necessary to use the ECS system. Wow. Here we go. Sheesh. Okay. So it looked like Jay-Z and Sony has to Robert, Lil Wayne, and Kanye, and some crazy stuff. Man, look, I'm going to come back. Like I say, I got content for days. I'm going to come back and I'm going to give y'all some more content because y'all know ain't nothing going on now. There's no court today, tomorrow, or Wednesday. So ain't nothing going on. Let's see. People need to come with content now. And that's content enough. I mean, that's a lot. So I'll be back. What time is it? 3 o'clock? I'll be back at 5 o'clock with some more content. And we're going to talk about what's really going on over in the Middle East of why our troops might be going back. Of why our troops might be going back. But I will say this. I wonder why Jay-Z is not being paraded the way they doing R. Kelly. Why didn't they go lock Jay-Z up yet in the way they doing R. Kelly? These are questions that everybody need to start asking these outlets. And then when they ask why, refer them to the document of Jeffrey Epstein. Refer them to the document of Jeffrey Epstein. Feel me? So, DanaJay be back. Love every last one of y'all. Don't forget, man. I need your help. I need your help. Okay. I'm going to give it to y'all straight. I'm $675 away that I need before Saturday, because I got a book. I got a soft booking on the hotels, but I need to make sure I have it so that way when I go to New York on Sunday, I will be straight. And I don't got to sit back and wait. So I'm $675 short. So let's see if we can get this by Saturday. Okay? Let's see if we can get the $675 by Saturday. Sunday, you'll see me in the air. Because I'm going to go live and I'm going to let you know. I'm going live. I'm going to New York. The only thing I won't be telling is where I'll be staying at. But just know I'll be staying close to the district court. So that way we can get everything going. But I'm $675 short. Let's go ahead and put our stuff together. Let's say like $30 a person, $40 a person. 20 people, or should I say 30 people. Something like that. Alright. Y'all know the Cash App. $official DanaJay. If you look at the top of the live chat, you will see the tip jar. Hey, we can do it. But I need your help in getting back to New York. I'm not afraid to say it. If everybody else can go on their platform and scam y'all out of money and resell federal transcripts, which is not legal, then I think I can come and ask y'all and for help. You feel me? Alright. So I'll be back at 5 o'clock. Peace. Love every last one of y'all. See y'all at 5.
Say you love me, what you gonna do now? Hope you're ready, cause I'm really about to put it down. Girl, you know that I will never disrespect you. We love tomorrow, but tonight I wanna spank you. That ass down, gotta make it last down. Start off so, then I'ma beat it up.
I don't like to waste time on stupid conversation. There's no profit in that. So if I'm around people that are always complaining with no solutions, then I'm wasting real estate in my brain for what I need to project. And what I project in my brain is what I project in my reality. So that real estate only has to be for evolution, things that are going to help me get where I got to go. You understand? Help me evolve. So if my conversation with you makes me stagnate, we don't have too much conversation either. I don't have no time for no stupid ass conversation.
Feel his club, yeah. I can feel his drink, yeah. I can feel a good vibe coming over me. Oh, I can feel a party, yeah. It's somebody's birthday, happy birthday. I can feel a groove, yeah. I feel a DJ, yeah. I can feel joy, I can feel trust around me. I can feel people, and I can feel the love, and it's all in the air tonight. And it's all in the air tonight. It's all in the air tonight. It's all in the air tonight. I can feel a high, yeah. and I can feel the shots. Oh, I feel all the ladies in here looking so hot. Oh, I feel them on top. Yeah, feels like a good day. Oh, it feels like everybody is happy, and it makes me feel great. Oh, and it's all in the air tonight. Yeah, and it's all in the air tonight. Yeah, oh, it's all in the air tonight. Yeah, oh, it's all in the air tonight. Oh, so come on, let's stop all this hate and let's start celebrating. Life is too short for this drama, pain, and madness. Let's have drinks and party up until we see the morning. And let's make a toast to change, cause I feel it's coming. And it's all in the air tonight. Oh, it's all in the air tonight. Oh, it's all in the air tonight. I can feel it, yeah, all around. It's all in the air tonight. And I'm so glad that the spirit comes. It's all in the air tonight. Can you feel it in the air? Oh yeah, it's all in the air tonight. Blessings and miracles, yeah. I'm claiming it. Oh, I'm claiming it. Yeah, I'm claiming it.